Ladies and gentlemen, we as the opposition side of the House strongly believe that excessive policing doesn't improve anyone's prosperity. Therefore, I would like to deliver 3 points of rebuttals to the opposition side of the House. They say that society has a right to security and that every individual needs a right to feel safety among their neighborhood. And those things can be achieved through the significant presence of the police. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The existence of the nowadays police doesn't perform any of the mentioned points, because people cannot be assured for safety and security when the example that they see is the police murdering some black Americans on the street because of shallow reasonings. The second point that I would like to rebuttal is about they say that people are going to take justice into their own hands if there is no police forces. But now, is there any difference when the existence of police officers are in fact very real? People still take justice into their own hands sometimes. And although policies exist, so it doesn't mean that it would guarantee every kind of justice to be performed. The third one is they say that racism can be prevented through trainings and so on and so forth. But then again, what is the outcome of the trainings then? When we can still see there are so many cases of police brutality in the streets and so on and so forth. Now, there are so many arguments that would be clashing with my points. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this motion occurs as the aftermath of the Black Lives Matter campaign that sources in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and spread all across the United States, along with the growing amount of activists and humanitarians that are against the police brutality, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is as if the deaths of George Floyd, Michael Brown, Eric Garner, and perhaps another 20 victims of police brutality are not enough to be the actual representation of how wicked the misconducts from the police officers were. Policies are supposed to perform public safety, but these cases show that none of the factor is being conducted. The death cases are basic evidences of the racism among police officers are still going on up to this day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to break down my cases into 3 different parts. The first one would be my argument about why is it not urgent. The second one is about why is it not effective, and the third one is about why is it unjustifiable and to do so. Now, in order to provide a clear view on what the strategy of institutional reform is not more significant than defunding the police, then I would like to jump on my first argument. But first of all, I would like to state that we are aiming for the equality and the prosperity of the people. And that's why this is my argument to begin with. The first one, why is it not urgent to push institutional reform to address police abuse and misconduct? Because restructuring the police department have been done for so many years to achieve the goal of functionality of the government. But however, ladies and gentlemen, the reality, 70% of the evaluations are resulting in no significant progresses. We are not living in utopia, and the practice of perfect prevention and perfect solution to stop the narrow-minded and violent-based actions in the future would be zero. Therefore, we believe that it would be better to instead reinforce the quality of the people's life by investing in the other alternative solutions that are basically the root of all crime actions. Policies are being overfunded, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, they can't even serve justice and guarantee the public safety. Now, let's take an example. The city of San Antonio places budgets about $479 million for police department. Meanwhile, that amount is basically 37% of almost half of the city's general fund spendings, right? Now, imagine if this huge amount of money is being allocated to fund other public needs such as libraries, housings, medical services, and so on and so forth. If we are able to do this proposal, ladies and gentlemen, the massive progress among the prosperity of the people would eventually grow. Now, there would be more economic support such as affordable housings and libraries for educational purposes. And of course, in the end, the well-beings of the people are being guaranteed. Therefore, criminal cases wouldn't even surface as much as before. And the opportunity for the police officers to conduct mistreatment to the people would also be lessened. Now, the second point that I would like to deliver today is about why is it not effective to do the said proposal. Now, trying to create immaculate police officers by institutional reforming them doesn't sound any more real than any daydreams. Now, the act of police violence have been occurring ever since years before 2020, and it shows no progress along the time. Now, as we can see, from the most recent cases, like George Floyd was literally murdered in Minneapolis, which is also well known for the best police service and also used as a role for the other region's police department. But the truth, this kind of case still happens in even the best region that is well known for the best service from their police department, which also shows that it is not qualified to fund the police with a lot of money and believe that they would do a better job in the next decades. Now, this is contradictory also with their main functionality of policies, and therefore, in order to achieve a better life quality, our mechanism would support it best. Now, by defunding the police, this act allows the experts to step inside of the game. Because these days, it seems like the police are doing too much work, ladies and gentlemen, that basically aren't even their field to begin with. Police shouldn't take care of various non-criminals actions such as homelessness, neighborhoods problems, and other teeny tiny violations. But so by defunding the police, the amount of money would be used into a more effective way, and that they don't need to deal with drug addicts that should have been treated by the psychologists and so on and so forth. Less money means we also limit their capacity into minding their own job, which is public safety. Now, therefore, even after all these cases of police brutality and racism would never occur anymore. Next one is about why is it justified to defund the police department. Because first of all, we believe that basically the government is the main actor of any rational actions that need to be taken to support these kind of progress, because they also have the obligation to protect the safety, to protect their people, and also to provide safety to every individual in their nations. Now, therefore, this will also lead to the next justification, which is utilitarianism, that we are trying to cover up even more benefits that scoops a bigger scale of people, instead of just focusing into this police department's well-beings. Now, we are trying to save the people coming from different races. We are trying to protect the black and the brown people from any of these police brutality cases from happening again. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, we are so proud to oppose to this motion. Thank you.